Hey there, beautiful humans. Welcome to another episode of Kindness Rising, where we prove that kindness isn't just nice, it's revolutionary. Today, we're grooving into new territory. Online kindness, it's polarized, but kindness on the internet is not an oxymoron. Not only is it possible, it's happening right now, and it's changing lives. We're going to remember a celebrity who turned her own public nightmare into a movement for empathy. We're going to pick up some tools to make our digital experience just a little more chill. And hold on to your bandanas. We're going to hear some juicy jams about my journey and the future of Kindness Rising. So grab your coffee, silence your notifications, and let's discover how to be the change that we want to be in our feeds. Because after today, you might never look at your comments section the same again. This is Kindness Rising, and we are about to turn the digital world upside down.
This is Kindness Rising.
All right. Let's get real for a moment. When you opened your phone this morning, I'm sure you didn't start right here at Kindness Rising. You probably saw some political arguments, some passive-aggressive posts, and maybe someone's breakfast will make you think about your life's choices. The internet can feel like a battlefield sometimes, a place where kindness goes to die. But here's what I say. We can choose to start the digital empathy revolution. It's actually happening right now, and most of us don't even know it. Here's what I know. While algorithms, they push us towards conflict for engagement, the basic need for human connection, that's actually stronger. Here's some research. 40% of adults have said that they've been harassed online, but 69% of teens who are using social media say their peers are mostly kind to each other. That's 69%. So that means that kindness is actually winning. Here's my take. Digital spaces where we come every day actually offers unique opportunities for deeper connection than face-to-face interactions. Online, we have more control for our self-presentation, more time before we respond, and the ability to connect more so than we ever did in our physical communities. The problem isn't that the internet is inherently cruel. It's that it's been designed wrong. It rewards the loudest voices, not the kindest ones, the most controversial takes instead of the most thoughtful ones. But here's the truth of how we can change how we see every comment, every notification, every moment online. Hey, Justin Cram, thanks for joining along. I love your mission. I'm jumping into the comments early. Lady Drew, you're here. B Drive, I see you finally subscribed. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate what you do. Choose kindness online. It's not about being nice. It's about being brave. It's about showing up as your full, authentic self, as my full, authentic self, creating caring places where people feel safe, building bridges instead of walls so that we can make the world a better place, especially when people are throwing stones at each other. We have the greatest power. We have the power to ignore the trolls and the idiots and the morons that are out there spreading hate. When I jump digitally into the world, I choose to access my empathy, my understanding, and the radical idea that the person on the other side of the screen is actually a human being with feelings, with emotions, with stories, with things to tell us and help us for. It's a complex world, and guess what? The entire world is just as deserving of kindness as I am. When people throw shade, I just ignore them. I move on. Today, we're not just talking about online kindness. We're talking about digital courage. We're talking about the person who changes the conversation. That's what we're doing here on Kindness Rising. That's what we do on Mornings in the Lab. We change the conversation. We shift the energy and prove that kindness isn't weekend. It's coming up on the weekend, but it's not weakness. It's the strongest force in any room, virtual or otherwise. The kindness revolution, the digital revolution, it's happening right here. It's happening on Kindness Rising. It's happening on Mornings in the Lab, one comment at a time, one segment at a time, and it starts with us. Mike Sullivan, finger red number one, finger red number one. I don't know what that means. Is it my finger? Are you talking about my finger? I know I got that habit. But guess what? I'm going to still bring it. I'm going to bring it every day. I'm going to try my best to bring everything that I can. So let's move on in the show. Appreciate everyone that's out there. Be Driven, Justin, Lady Drew, Mike Sullivan. You're all awesome. Thanks for joining every day. So let's roll with it a little bit here. We're getting foxy. Kind of sounds like Foxy Lady. I use Suno music every day to try to create a vibe for us. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. Talk about our journey and how we do things here on Kindness in the Lab. This one is titled Foxy. Reminds me of Little Hendrix, Foxy Lady. So let's have some fun.
Dude, did you catch the show Kindness Rising on YouTube?
Man, that roof guy is totally vibing with the kindness scene.
Woo! You know what I love about kindness? It shows up in some really unexpected places, and sometimes it's carried by the most surprising messengers. So let's talk about someone who I think pretty much everybody out there in Kindness Rising Land knows. I'll give you a few little hints. This person knows a thing or two about harassment and being in the spotlight. Here's your hints: cigars, a blue dress, lies, power, sex. You know who I'm talking about? Taking you back to the 90s, a time that was really formative in my life. I'm talking about Monica Lewinsky. Before you roll your eyes, here we go. Some kind of nostalgia. Hear me out, because I think this story might just. All right, let's get at it. Trust me, I've had a lot of fun at the expense of Monica Lewinsky back when I was in college. I remember the year that the story broke. Just about every other woman in particular, and even some men, wore a blue dress with a stain on it as their Halloween costume. And I would be lying to you if I didn't make a few Monica Blue Klinsky jokes at frat parties. But the truth is, in hindsight, this particular White House intern, she had something to teach us. She was the first person to really experience large-scale coordinated online harassment. As the internet was starting to blossom in the early 90s, people started using the tool to harass. Monica describes herself as patient zero of the cyberbullying culture. And we can talk about whether cyberbullying is a real thing and whether people need to toughen up a little bit. And maybe that's true. But what's remarkable about Monica's story is she didn't just disappear. She decided to become the cure. Motivated by a friend of hers, someone she knew who committed suicide at the age of 18 because she was bullied online, she realized that her own experience with bullying, as painful as it was, actually gave her a unique platform to speak from. Out of her pain, she built something. She partnered with BBDO out in New York for The Epidemic, a series about cyberbullying. She's now a producer on projects to examine the culture of public shaming. And she had an HBO documentary called 15 Minutes of Shame. But here's why I think Monica's work is so freaking cool. Regardless of the message, regardless of her checkered past, she's not fighting against something. She's fighting for something. She's fighting for a culture of compassion and for the radical idea that we can disagree with each other without destroying each other. That's Monica Lewinsky's story. Let's move on. Here's the truth, the more truth. Truth bombs like crazy today. We all have moments when the internet feels cruel, when our online spaces feel unsafe, when digital interactions leave us feeling less than human rather than more connected. But we also have the power to change that, one interaction at a time. And here's a little story from last week that I experienced that I hope will help us all. Hey, Billis, you out there? Maybe you're out there listening. Jump in the comments if you want to on this one, because you were part of this story. Last week, Keith and I went online together. We went live last minute to do some training for you all. One of the things we do here at Kindness Rising and at Mornings in the Lab is show you the way we do things. We're going to keep doing that. Keith's going to go on again today and show you some more things. But while we were doing that, I experienced a little bit of cyberbullying myself, I guess you could call it. Here's the thing. A troll joined our little chat. Maybe he learned something. Maybe he's come back. I haven't seen his name back in the chats or anything, but hopefully he learned something. Hopefully he learned that cyberbullying and spreading hate is not the way of the world. The dude got online. He started judging my vibe and my role as the student in the training exercise and calling me beta and blah, 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 all that crap, whatever. Here's the thing. I was super tempted to rattle back, right? To just start hammering away on this guy, finding out what he's all about, whatever. But I took a second. I shrugged it off and I went, whatever. This dude's got his own set of problems. Let's move on. And here's the most beautiful part. Billis, I hope you're out there listening, because I'm going to say thank you to you. I'm going to invoke your name. Keith, when that happened, he jumped right in. He didn't hesitate for a second. He diffused the situation. He called the guy out on his bullshit. He created a safe place where I didn't have to react as I would have in the past. He knew that to jump in and set this guy straight and try to let him understand what we're trying to accomplish was the way to go. And the dude stood down. That's a story of internet kindness that I can't ignore, that helped me. I hope it helped you. Keith changed the question from is online kindness possible to how are we going to be part of making it inevitable? I'm along for that ride. Thank you, Keith, for doing that for me today and showing us the way to bring digital kindness. All right. Lady Drew, you like the tunes? Here's some more for you. We're getting a little psychedelic here on Kindness Rising today. I'm going to give you a quick kindness compass, and then what I really want to get to today, what I really am bringing today, is coming up in just a few minutes. I'm going to get to my story, my journey, what I'm doing, what we're bringing here on Kindness Rising, and what the real meaning behind all this craziness is. Whee! Got my little dragonfly in the background. I had to get it going. All right. Here's your kindness compass. I do like to bring a little bit of practical tips. I got told stop being so preachy. I get it. I'm not trying to be preachy, but I am trying to move us from thoughts to action, bringing some ideas, some things that have worked, that hopefully you guys can take some value away with you. Something that you can do. If you give it one little hint, one little tip, one little trick that makes your life online, in life better, a little more kind, that'll be part of my purpose. It's time to get practical. Online kindness matters, but actually doing it when someone's being wrong on the internet is another thing entirely. It's what Keith did last week with me. I've been studying the research, listening to the experts, listening to my favorite bullshit expert. Fans of my Mornings in the Lab know who I'm talking about, and honestly experimenting out with my own social media. I've come across 7 strategies that don't make you just feel good. They actually change the conversation. Strategy 1, the pause protocol. Talked about it earlier. Before you respond to anything, take a second, 1 second, and decide. Count to 10. Ask yourself one question. Will this response make the situation better or just make me feel better? How many people out there are just doing this stuff to boost their own ego, try to help themselves out? It's not helping the world. Take a second. Use questions. The cure, instead of starting with your opinion, start with a question. Help me understand your perspective on this. What experiences led you to that conclusion? That was advice from our friend John Petrocelli, bullshit expert. It's a way to get to the heart of things, the heart of what people are doing, and really call people out. It does something magical. It makes the other person feel heard, but it also makes them take a second to think about what they're going to do. And they're more likely to listen when they know you ask a question. Empathy. I can see why you're frustrated by this. You're right. This is a complex issue. Recognizing that there are differences of opinions in the world and talking about it. We talk about conversation here on Kindness Rising and on Mornings in the Lab, and I want you to do it too. I told you there'd be 7, but I'm actually going to change it up. We can come back to these in a minute, but I'm just too freaking excited to talk to you about what I'm doing here on Kindness Rising, what I'm bringing, where my inspiration comes from, and what I promise to you. So give me a second, and I'm going to get to it. I was really excited, but sometimes the technical takes over. I'm going to turn the music off for this one because I want you to really hear me. I want you to really listen. The bullshit stops today. I've been coming out here for 6 weeks, 30 half-hour episodes, 12 hours a day, getting ready for the show, working with Keith, making it happen. And guess what? I've been making sacrifices all summer long, figuring out what I'm doing, right? And what in the name of Jerry Garcia have I been doing? I'm going to talk about it. Here's the thing. Every day I go out, I dig into the trends. I look at YouTube, it tells me what I should be talking about. I follow the scripts. Sometimes I read them word for word using buzzwords and keywords, rattling off stats and talking about what other people are saying and doing about subjects that honestly, really deep down, I don't really care that much about them. I'm being told what to say instead of saying what I know. I'm doing all the things that the textbooks and the AI bots tell me I should be doing to put together a really good show. But something's been missing. I get up here and I talk about the EAT philosophy, experience, expertise, authority, trust, and entertaining. But have I actually brought it? Knowing it is one thing. Doing it is another. Billis, if you're out there, Melissa, Jimmy, John, whoever's listening, here is my declaration today, August 15th, 2025. Today is the day that kindness really rises. This is my declaration. I won't continue to fake it anymore. I know you don't want me to, and I don't want to either, and here's why. I just heard the stairs upstairs. I've got 2 kids upstairs that are waiting to see what their father can do and show them the way. I've got a wife who's on her way to work right now, who's put up with a mile-long train of my bullshit for 23 years. I got a mother who's been in the comments. I love that you show up every day. You're watching the show. You've invested decades of your life and tons of money betting on me. But I'm not going to waste it anymore. It's time for me to show up for them and for you. But most important, I owe it to myself. I owe it to myself to bring my beautiful, freaky self every day, to show the way to true kindness, to share my deep experience, to teach my hard-learned lessons, to be my freaky, authentic self. I've already said it, I'm going to say it again, to build your genuine trust and to entertain you, because that's what we do. You, me, and the entire world, we deserve my best, and I'm going to bring it. This show was a gift that was handed to me by a mysterious force. I call it the universe. You can call it God, whatever you want to call it. Something brought Keith Billis and the Mornings in the Lab Network to me for a purpose. And I know today, now more than ever, that this is the right path for me. And I promise to make the best use of this gift. Switching gears. I'm retooling this thing. I'm going to align it with who I am and what I know. I'm going to share what I believe, teach what I can, continue to learn from Keith and all the other show hosts that I've admired, the personalities, the artists, the thinkers, the dreamers, the ones that inspire me. And none, as you can probably tell from my shirt, from my poster, none is greater than the Grateful Dead. This is what I'm leaning into. I know there's a loyal community of deadheads out there. Here's the thing. Some of you know who they are. Some of you probably have preconceived notions or misconceptions about the dead or us dead. We deadheads, us deadheads, we deadheads, whatever. Let me tell you, there is real alignment between the Grateful Dead ecosystem, the Kindness Rising values, and the Mornings in the Lab pillars. And here's examples of what I mean. Bear with me while I talk about it, because I need to get it out. I need you guys to know what I'm bringing every day and what I promise to bring every day. Here's why I connect with the dead and why I come here every day. It starts with showing up every day. For 60 years, the Grateful Dead, in some form or other, have been showing up constantly. Some years they do over 250 gigs, day after day, even on the days they don't want to. Maybe they're hungover. Maybe they had a bad night, or they with their family, or they lost a friend. They still get on stage. They find healing and purpose in doing that. I remember the night Jerry Garcia died, August 9th, 1995. That night, Bobby Weir, I've got his poster right up here behind me. He's the other primary member of the Grateful Dead. He didn't fold. He didn't decide to cancel his show. He went on stage and gave one of the most inspired performances of his career, dedicated to the man he loves. And that's what I promise to do here on Kindness Rising. Keith, and I know it's what Keith is doing over on Mornings in the Lab. What we do is really, really hard. You might not see it. We put in hours of work on the videos, on the scripts, on thinking about you guys and trying to make this show, our shows, entertaining, interesting, and help you get up and get after it every morning. We want to bring our full energy, continue to grow, and learn and entertain. We want to help you, the audience, get up and get after it. And we're here for the long haul. Next, let's talk about progress over perfection. It's been one of my favorite sayings here on Kindness Rising, and it's something, again, that the Grateful Dead has emulated throughout their career. Over thousands of gigs, tens of thousands of hours, millions of individual musical notes that have been recorded by the Grateful Dead. There's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of misnotes, squeaks, honks, broken strings, wonky microphones, technical glitches, but the show goes on. And actually, the Grateful Dead, and what we do here at Mornings in the Lab and Kindness Rising, is they lean into those mistakes, sometimes making some of their most beautiful music in spite of those flaws. And here we are, warts and all, embracing, learning the beauty of our mistakes on our shows too. How about self-deprecation? You think I'm taking myself seriously right now? Guy with a master's degree and 30 years of corporate experience? No, we're a little self-deprecating. The Dead, they didn't take themselves too seriously either, and they never have. There's been a lot of laughter over those 60 years. They know they're flawed and probably overachieving, and that gives them freedom to be their absolute authentic selves, and you can feel it at their shows and in their interviews. Here's one I loved because it's about you. The Grateful Dead has built one of the greatest, most loyal communities ever assembled in an ecosystem. Jerry Garcia, the Grateful Dead, said this: The Grateful Dead are like licorice. Not everybody likes it, but those who like it really like it. That's what we're building here, a group of community members who really are part of this thing that we're building. Deadheads embrace everyone. We accept the fact that most of us are misfits and outlaws. We don't fit the mold. We accept everyone the way they are. It's probably the most beautiful thing about the community of Deadheads. Go to a show and take a look around. There's a reason why they say, let your freak flag fly. They all join together to focus on one purpose, that one thing that they have in common. Deadheads are tweakers in more than one way. The Grateful Dead tweak. Excuse me, I'm tweaking right now on my nose. They play different instruments every time. They do a lot of in-show tuning. They experiment. They learn and they grow on the fly. That's what we're doing here on Kindness Rising and Mornings in the Lab. Iteration. Keith and I talk about this one. The songs develop that way. The sound evolves. They're the six-headed monster. Sometimes they're all playing something a little bit different, but they make it work and sound great. They do it by listening to each other. That's the beauty of musical conversation. Building off of each other makes each other stronger and maybe a little stranger. When one gets tired, the others pick up effortlessly. A tennis match. That's what we're having here as a conversation. And I'm going to bring some guests on and we're going to do that. Inspiration. They draw their inspiration from literally every walk of life, every form of music, gospel, jazz, blues, folk, classical, country, goes on and on and on. They share respect for variety. Their guests that they've had on with them on their shows, at their shows, proves it. Sure, Janis Joplin, David Crosby, Bob Dylan, Carlos Santana. Those are the ones you expect. But what about Clarence Clemens, Branford Marsalis, the Beach Boys, and even John Belushi? They know that variety is spice of life, and they grow by sharing their own voices and their stories. And lastly, they're the revolutionary rebels. They do it unapologetically their way. Another quote from Jerry that I'm going to wind this up with. We don't want to be the best at what we do. We want to be the only ones that do what we do. That's what we do. We're the only ones getting up after it every day. Mornings in the Lab, Kindness Rising. We're here for you. Let's get up and get after it. Get over to see Keith and Johnny and friends at Mornings in the Lab for a Free for All Friday today. Marty, AJ, Melissa, and Jimmy. They're carving new paths. We're showing you the new way to do live conversation. We're bringing experience, expertise, authenticity, trustworthiness, and entertainment. And just like John Mayer, you guys know Johnny. He joined the latest iteration of the Grateful Dead. That's what I am. I'm on board for this long strings trip. Join me every weekday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern for Kindness Rising, and together we will rise. That's the show for today, guys. It's the show for the week. Episode 30, 6 weeks in. We're figuring stuff out. I promise it's going to continue to get better. We're going to be leaning into all the groovy sounds that we have out there. Good stuff that I know I can bring to you to help us get up and get after it every morning. Let's get groovy and get going here. All right, so get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. They're going to continue this conversation. We talked about digital kindness. It's what we do here on Kindness Rising. Don't forget to eat every day. Experience, expertise, authenticity, trust, and entertainment. That's how we get it done here on Kindness Rising. And that's how you can get it done. Keep building bridges. Keep choosing connection over conflict. Keep proving that kindness isn't weakness. How many times am I going to say that? It's not weakness. I think I'm thinking about the weakness. This has been Kindness Rising, live every day, 7:30 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, where we prove that kindness can be powerful and maybe just a little predictable. And as we always say, the predictable is a little unpredictable. Go forth, be ridiculous, unapologetically, the revolutionary kind. The internet is waiting for you, and as I always say, stay uncommon.